Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Sotheby's London. My name is Tom Eddison, and it is my great pleasure to be your auctioneer for this evening's sale of contemporary art presented by the French couture house CELINE. London in October is undoubtedly one of the highlights in the art calendar, as art lovers and collectors descend on the city for frieze, new exhibition openings, and of course the auctions, generating a palpable buzz that is uniquely its own. As always, we have welcomed both familiar and new faces in our galleries, as we have showcased not only the full gamut of our frieze offerings, but also a number of extraordinary highlights from our Paris and New York sales, as well as old masters and modern British art, which we'll be offering in London later in the year. Tonight's sale is distinguished by exciting, fresh-to-market material, with over 3/4 of the works making their auction debut tonight, led, of course, by 4 exceptional masterworks by Francis Bacon and Auguste Rodin, united in a private collection for over 40 years, setting the tone for standout pieces by Jean-Michel Basquiat, Andy Warhol, Jenny Saville, Yves Klein, Lucio Fontana, to name but a few. And just before we open proceedings, a few housekeeping announcements for your reference. As noted in our conditions of business for buyers, everything is sold under the authenticity guarantee and on an as-is basis. Buyer's premium will be added to the hammer price of each lot offered, along with any applicable VAT or amount in lieu of VAT, as well as any applicable artist retail right royalty as part of the total purchase price payable. Please refer to our conditions of business for buyers for our full terms of sale. No lots have been withdrawn, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we begin? Lot 1, the Sir Surplus, our opening lot, marking the auction debut for the artist as she comes off the back of her solo exhibition at Kunsthalle Basel earlier this year, and it can open up here at £16,000, at 16,000, £17,000, £17,000, 17,000 now, at 17,000, 18,000, at 18,000, 19,000, ahead of you Antonio at £18,000, and ahead of the room here at 18,000, at 18,000, 19,000, sorry, 20,000. Will you say 20,000? 20,000. Thank you very much. With Antonia Gardner at 20,000. Ahead of you, Olivia, there as well. Here on my right with Antonia Gardner. Head of evening sale at 20,000. New place with Lisa. Thank you. 22,000 now. At 22,000. Ahead of you, Antonia. And ahead of you, Olivier. At 22,000. No? Dommage. At 22,000. Here with Lisa Dennison. Ahead of you, Antonia. At 22,000. Are we sure? Fair warning to you then. At 22,000 then with Lisa, head of the room, head of you online, at 22,000. So thank you, Lisa. Paddle 60. Lot 2, the Hernan Bass Rotten Apple. Showing here. And I can open here at £170,000, 170,000, 180,000 now, 180,000. 180,000, 190,000, 190,000, 200,000. Thank you, Lucius, at £200,000. Lucius Elliott here at 200,000. Ahead of you all at 200,000. Ahead of you, Olivier, as well. Here on my right with Lucius Elliott at £200,000. At 200,000. We're all done here at 200,000. With you then, Lucius, for 200,000. So thank you very much. Paddle 2. As we move to lot 3, the Emma McIntyre, sold as viewed at the back of the room. And we'll open here at 32,000 now, 32,000, at £32,000, at 32,000, 35,000, at 35,000, 38,000, at 38,000, at £38,000. We'll wait for the connection, Antonia, 40,000. Thank you, Ottilie, at 40,000 now, at £40,000. With Ottilie Windsor here, as we try a little connection, at £40,000. At 40,000. It's with you. We're just going to try and get a line. At £40,000. At 40,000. At 40,000. Good day at Freeze, everyone? All good? Very good. At 40,000, we sure? We're done at 40,000. With you then, Ottilie. We're all done here at 40,000. So, paddle 47. Thank you. Lot 4, the Yu Nishimura, showing here. And I can open up here at 20,000, 22,000 now, 22,000 pounds, at 22,000 pounds, 25,000, at 25,000, at 25,000 pounds, 28,000. We say 30, Olivier. At 30,000. At 30,000, yeah? Oui, no? So 28,000, we say 30. 30,000, thank you. With Olivier 4 here, at 30,000 pounds, ahead of you all here in the room, ahead of you online, at 30,000. At 30,000 pounds. Milap, are you coming in? At 30,000. At 30,000 pounds. With Olivier, ahead of you all here. Milap, a sign of life. At 30,000 pounds. 32,000, thank you, Milap. New place here at 32,000. Ahead of you, Olivier, now at 32,000. 35,000, thank you very much. At 35,000 now, ahead of you, Milap. At 35,000. Here with Olivier at 35. At 35,000 pounds. Is that a bid? At 35,000. Milap, what are we saying here? With Olivier, 38,000, thank you. At 38, 40,000 now. At 40, back with Olivier. At 40,000 pounds. Still ahead of the room here. At 40, no? 38, still 38. That was not a, just show me your paddle number. Apologies. Milap, it's your bid at 38. Clear as mud. At 38,000. Now a bid? D'accord. 40,000, back with Olivier. Thank you very much. At 40,000 pounds now. Now ahead of you, Milap. At 40,000. At 40,000 pounds. Still ahead of you all in the room here. At 40,000. We're out. Are we sure? At 40,000. With you then, Olivier. If we're all done, at 40,000. So, thank you very much. Paddle 27. Lot 5, the El Anatsui, Hesitant Rivers. Shoulders viewed at the back of the room here, to my right. And please refer to Sotheby's website for up-to-date cataloguing of the work. And I can open up here at £700,000. At £700,000 now. At £700,000. 700. At 750,000. 800,000, thank you. With Fergus Duff now at 800,000. At 800,000, with Fergus Duff here. At 800,000. At 800,000 pounds. At 850,000. New place with Mackie here at 850,000. Against you, Fergus. 900,000. At 900,000. 950,000. With Mackie here at 950. No more. At 950, are we sure? At 950,000. With Mackie here on the phones. Ahead of you all. At 950,000. Lisa? It's a no. With you then, Mackie, if we're all done here, at £950,000. So, thank you very much. Paddle 39. We move to lot 6. The Jean-Michel Basquiat, the Untitled, the Arm, painted in 1982, Basquiat's most celebrated year, exhibited at Documenta and created his most acclaimed works. Here, resplendent in gold, just behind me here, and executed on a distinctive chevron blanket, the Arm makes its auction debut and unites the artist's key themes of anatomy, identity, and artistic lineage. And with that, I can open up here at £4 million, at £4 million now, £4 million, 4,100,000, 4,100,000, 4,200,000 now, at 4,200,000. With Haley, 4,300,000. Thank you very much. With Haley Stoddard now at 4,300,000, at 4,300,000.
At 4,000,003, 4,400,000 now. At 4,000,004 ahead of you. 4,500,000 now. At 4,000,005 with Hayley Stoddard here. At £4,500,000. £4,500,000 even. At 4,500,000 with Hayley. Any advance? At 4,500,000, if we're all done here, with you then, Hayley, at 4.5. So, thank you very much. Paddle 50. 7. The Andy Warhol 4 pink Marilyn's from the Reversal series, a defining example in which the artist re-examined his own icons to explore fame, mortality, and image making. None more iconic than Marilyn, of course. Comparable works from the series are held in major museum collections, including SF MoMA and the Guggenheim Bilbao. And we can open bidding here at £2 million now, £2 million, 2,200,000 now, 2,200,000, 2,200,000, 2,500,000 now, £2,800,000 now, with Antonia Gardner at 2.8, at 2,800,000. Here on my right, with Antonia Gardner ahead of the phones now, at 2.8, at 2,800,000, ahead of you Otley, and ahead of you Lorenzo. £3 million now, with Otley here, new place, ahead of you Antonia, at £3 million. At £3 million now. At £3 million. I can see Lorenzo. Are we coming in? At £3 million. Here with Otley. 3.1 I will take. In the room. New place. Thank you, sir. 3,100,000 now. At 3.1. New place in the room. 3.2. At 3,200,000. At 3,200,000. Ahead of you, sir. At 3.2 with Otley. At 3,000,002. At 3,000,002. 3.3, of course. Thank you, sir. 3.3 now, ahead of you, Otley. Gentleman seated at 3.3. 3.4. At 3,400,000. Ahead of you, sir. At 3.4. At 3,400,000. 3.5. Thank you, sir. 3,000,005 now. Back in the room here. Against you odds. At 3.5. 3,600,000. At 3.6 now. At 3,000,006. Still ahead of you all here. With Otley here at 3.6. 3,700,000. Thank you, sir. Back in the room, ahead of you, Otley, at 3,700,000. At 3.7. At £3,750,000 now. At 3,750. It's incredibly polite, so I had to do it. At 3,750,000. Ahead of you, sir. Back with Otley at 3,750. £3,800,000. Thank you. At 3.8. Shall we try 3.9? With a gentleman seated at 3,000,008. Are we out? At 3,800,000. At 3.8. We're done. Thank you very much. With you then, sir, at 3,800,000. All done. With you, sir. So, thank you very much. Paddle 834. And we move to lot 9, the Jenny Savile Muse on a Stool, showing here in the sale room on my left. Beautiful charcoal work. And I can open bidding here at £300,000 now. £300,000, £320,000, £350,000 with Alex here. Thank you very much. At £350 now. At £350,000, £380,000, £400,000. Thank you very much. Just ahead of you, Elena, with Alex here. At £400,000. Ahead of you, Lisa, as well. At £400,000, £420,000 now with Lisa. Against you, Alex, and against you, Elena. At £420,000. At £420,000. At £420,000. Alex, you'll be coming back in. At £420,000. with Lisa Stevenson here at 420,000. Are we sure, Alina? At 420. It's a firm shake of the head. At 420,000, with you, Lisa, then, head of the room here, at 420,000 pounds. So, thank you very much. Paddle 29. And we move to lot 10. The Bacon Rodin, property from an important private collection. First of the works here, the Francis Bacon Study for Self-Portrait, showing here on my right, an avowed Francophile, Francis Bacon. This painting narrates the phase of Bacon's life when he was living and working in Paris. And we see here the uncharacteristically tender example of Bacon's celebrated series of self-portraits, in which the artist looks back in reflection at his younger self. And I can start here with interest at £4,200,000 at 4.2 now, 4,200,000, 4,300,000 now, at 4,400,000 with Courtney now, at 4,400,000, at 4,400,000 with Courtney Kramer's here, at 4,400,000, at 4,400,000, at 4,500,000. Thank you. New place with Alex Branchik now, at 4,500,000. Ahead of you, Courtney, at 4.5, 4,600,000. Thank you very much. At 4.6 now, against you, Alex, at 4,600,000. And ahead of the room here, it's with Courtney at 4,600,000. 4,700,000. At 4.7, 4,800,000. At £4,800,000 with Courtney. Ahead of you, Alex, and ahead of you all here in the room. At 4,800,000.
Bid.
4,900,000. At 4.9. Back with Alex Branchik. At 4.9. Should we try one more, Courtney? With Alex at 4,900,000, not with you, Courtney, at 4,900,000, all done here, at £4,900,000 with Alex Branchik. So, paddle 8. Thank you very much. As we move to lot 11, the second of the works by Francis Bacon, showing here Portrait of a Dwarf to my left, acquired directly from the artist in 1981 by the current owner. The painting deeply valued by Bacon himself, keeping it in his own collection for several years and exhibiting it as property of the artist, most notably in the acclaimed gallery Claude Bernard show in 1977. Are we all okay? We are, thank you very much. Stunning work here, much admired in our galleries. And I can open bidding here at £4,200,000, at £4,200,000 now, at £4,200,000, £4,300,000 now, at £4,300,000, £4,400,000, at £4,400,000, at £4,400,000, £4,500,000 with Otley Windsor here at 4.5, at £4,500,000.
Bidding.
£4,600,000 now, with Alex Branchik in a new place at 4.6, at £4,600,000, at 4.6, £4,700,000. Back with Otley, ahead of you, Alex, now, at 4.7, 4.8 now, at 4,800,000 with Alex, 4,900,000 with a new place with Gregoire Biot at 4.9, £5 million. Back with Otley, ahead of you, Alex, and ahead of you, Gregoire, at 5 million. 5,200,000 with Alex Branchik at 5.2. Against you, Otley, and against you, Gregoire, at 5,200,000. 5,300,000 with Greg at 5.3. Ahead of you both here. at 5,300,000. Sure, 5-4 at 5,400,000. Back with Alex, against you, Ottilie, and against you, Gregoire. 5-4 at 5,400,000. With you, Alex, yeah, at 5-4. 5-5 with Gregoire. 6 doesn't rhyme, but 5-6 at 5,600,000. Back with Alex, Greg, against you now, 5-6. Still against you, Ottilie, as well, at 5,600,000. 5-7 with Gregoire, 5,700,000. At 5,800,000. At 5-8. 5-9. Back with Gregoire at 5,900,000. £6 million. With Alex Branchek at £6 million. Still ahead of you, Ottilie, as well. 6,100,000.
Bid.
6,200,000. At 6-2.
6-4.
6-4. It's rather like Wimbledon doing this. 6,400,000. 6-5. With Alex Branchek at £6,500,000. That's 6,500,000. 6,600,000.
Bid.
6,700,000. Head of the room as well. 6-8. Back with Gregoire at £6,800,000 now. At 6-8. 6,900,000. Back here with Alex. At 6,900,000. At £6,900,000. £7 million.
Bid.
7,100,000. At 7-1. Avec Alex. At 7-1. $7,200,000.
Bid.
7,300,000 with Alex at 7-3. At 7-3 against you, Gregoire. At 7-3. £7,400,000. The transatlantic battle At 7,000,004.
Bid.
7,500,000. Or cross-channel battle. At 7.5. Are we sure? At 7.5. At £7,500,000. Are we done? With Alex. In a new place at £7,600,000 with Johann as Switzerland enters the battle at 7.6. You're most welcome at 7,600,000. 7.8, thank you very much. In a new place, 7,800,000. 7.9 with Johann now against you, madam, at 7.9. Here with Johann against you both. £8 million. Back with Alex at £8 million. Against you, Johann, at £8 million. £8,100,000. At 8.1. Lady seated here, against you both, at 8,000,001. £8,200,000 now. Back with Alex at 8.2. £8,500,000 now. At 8.5. Here in the room, against you both. Still ahead of you, Gregoire, as well, at 8,500,000. 8.8. 8.7. At 8,700,000.
8.8, please.
At 8,800,000. Back with Alex, against 8.9 now. At 8,900,000. £9 million. Here in the room at £9 million at Sotheby's, against you both on the phones. Here seated at 9 million. 9,100,000. Back with Johann now. 9.1.
Bid.
9,200,000. Thank you, Alex. Spirited bidding. 9.3. Thank you very much. At 9.3 now. Back with Johann. Head of you here in the room. At 9,300,000. 9.4. 9.5. Really is like Robert now. At 9.5 with Johann.
Bid.
9,600,000. 9.7. And 9,700,000.
Bid.
9,800,000. 9,900,000. At 9.9. With Johann at 9,000,009.
Bid.
£10 million. Thank you very much. Alex Bunchek at 10. 10.1 now. 10,000,001. Back with Johann at £10,100,000. Head of you, Alex. Head of you here in the room. At 10.1. Gregoire. Oh, the phone is down. At 10.1. Thank you very much. At 10.1. Still with Johann. At 10,100,000.
Bid.
10,200,000.
Bid.
10,300,000. At 10.3. Sure. At 10,400,000. 10.5. At 10,500,000 with Johann here on my right. Head of you, Alex, and ahead of you still in the room. At 10,500,000. At 10.5. At 10.5. At 10,500,000. Head of you, Alex. At 10.5. with Johan at 10,500,000. 10,700,000, thank you very much. At 10,700,000. Back with the lady seated at 10,700,000, ahead of you. 10,800,000. At 10,800,000. Ahead of you, Alex. 10,900,000. 11 million pounds. With Johan at 11 million, ahead of you here, ahead of you, Alex, still, at 11 million pounds. Looks nervous. At 11 million. Alex? At 11 million pounds. At 11 million with Johan, ahead of you both. Any sign. At 11 million pounds. At 11 million, Alex. Looks like we're short here. With Johan, at 11 million pounds. Fair warning here. We sure? Thank you very much. At 11 million pounds then. Fair warning to you, Alex. With Johan, at 11 million pounds. We're all done. Thank you, bidder, and thank you here. At 11 million pounds with you, Johan. So, thank you very much indeed. There's your paddle. Paddle. 042. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As we move to lot 12, the Auguste Rodin, the Pierre de Buisson, from the same collection, of course. The first of two striking monumental figures on offer from the Rodin's seminal multi-figural composition, The Burghers of Calais, a cast of which notably stands outside our very own Houses of Parliament just down the road, and both are superlative examples of arguably Rodin's greatest monument and one of his premier lifetime achievements in sculpture. And with that, we can open bidding here at £480,000 now. 480,000, 480,000, 500,000 pounds, 500,000, 550,000, 550, just ahead of you online at 550. Just ahead of you online at 550. You click again, 600,000, new place online, thank you very much, at £600,000. My online bidder at 600,000, ahead of the room. 650, thank you very much, sir. Here in the room at 650,000, gentlemen seated against you online at 650, and ahead of the phones here at 650,000. At £650,000 now. It's ahead of you online. Here at Sotheby's in the room at 650. At 650,000. At 650. At £650,000. I see you, Greg. We're waiting for a connection here. At 650, here in the room. At 650,000. 680,000. A new place with Gregoire, ahead of you, sir. At 680. Ahead of you online as well. At 680,000. 700,000 pounds. Back in the room at 700,000. At 700,000. Gentlemen seated against you, Greg, and it's still ahead of you online at 700,000. At 700. No? Dommage. At 700,000. With you then, sir. For all done. Fair warning to you online and on the phones at £700,000. So, thank you, sir. 18. Thank you very much. Paddle 18. And we move to lot 13, the second of the Rodins, of course, Jean de Fienne. And again, opening here at £480,000, at 480,000, 500,000, 500,000 pounds, 550,000, at 550,000, ahead of you all, at 550, at 550,000, at 550,000, at 550,000 pounds, at 550, 600,000 now. The gentleman seated at 600,000 pounds. At 600,000. We're going to come in online. At 600,000. At 600,000 pounds then. It's yours, sir. At 600, if we're all done, fair warning to you all here, fair warning to you online, at 600,000. So, thank you, sir. Paddle 18 again. That moves us on to lot 14, the Anselm Kiefer, showing monumentally here on my right, the Tempelhof painting, extraordinary work, and opening here at £480,000, 480,000, 500,000, at 500,000 pounds, 550,000, at 550,000, at 550,000, 600,000 pounds, with Antonio Gardner at 600,000 pounds, ahead of you all, at 600,000, at 600,000. Here on the phones, head of the room here at 600. At 600,000. At 600,000 pounds for all done. Fair warning to you all, at 600. At 600,000 pounds then, with you, Antonia. So, thank you very much. Paddle 31. And lot 15, the George Barslett's painting, showing on my right here in the sale room. And we can start bidding here at £700,000, at £700,000, 750,000 now, 800,000 with Antonia now at £800,000. At £800,000. Antonia's bid, ahead of you all, at 800,000. Ahead of you, Phoebe, there, at 800,000. At 800,000, 850,000, in a new place with Lucius Elliott. Of course, I can see you, Phoebe, thank you, at 850,000. It's your bid. At 850, ahead of you, Antonia. At 850,000. At 850,000. New place at 900. Welcome, sir. Thank you. At £900,000 with the gentleman seated. Ahead of you, Lucius, at 900,000. At £900,000. Here in the room, 900,000. Ahead of you all here on this side as well. How are we looking, Phoebe? We're getting there. The gentleman seated, ahead of you, Lucius, ahead of you, Phoebe, as well, at £900,000. £950,000. Welcome, Phoebe. Thank you very much. £950 ahead of you, sir. £950. With Phoebe on the phones here. At £950,000. £1 million. Thank you, sir. Back in the room here, £1 million ahead of you, Phoebe. Still ahead of you, Lucius, as well. At £1 million. Here in the room at Sotheby's, New Bond Street, at £1 million. Still looking at you, Lucius. At £1 million. £1,100,000. Back with Phoebe. At 1-1. At 1,100,000. 1,150,000. With you, sir. 1,150,000. Say 1-2, Phoebe. At 1,150. 1,200,000. At 1-2. 1,250,000. 1,300,000. At 1.3. Haven't forgotten you, Lucius. At 1.3. With Phoebe then at 1,300,000. Sure? With Phoebe at 1,300,000. Thank you very much. At 1,300,000. Fair warning to you, Lucius. We're done. Thank you, sir. With you then, Phoebe, at £1,300,000. So, paddle 56. Thank you very much. Showing here on the easel. Thank you, guys. And I can start bidding here at £500,000. At 500,000 now. 500,000. 550,000. 550,000. 600 with Alex. 650,000 now. £700,000 with Alex Brunchick at 700,000. Ahead of you all at £700,000. Alex Brunchick's bidder here at 700,000, and I can sell at 700 now. At 700,000. Please. At 720,000. Back with Fergus Duff now in a new place at 720. Ahead of you, Alex, at 720. At 720,000. At 720,000. With Fergus, ahead of you, Alex, at 720. Ahead of this side as well. At £720,000. At 720. No? At £720,000, then if we're all done, with you then, Fergus, for 720. So thank you very much. Paddle 82. And we move to lot 17, the Yves Klein, the Untitled Fire Colored Painting. FC 28, an exquisite example showing here on the easel of Klein's final and most experimental body of work, the Baroque fire paintings from the extremely limited series of only 12 works. Beautiful painting. And I can open the bidding here at £1,200,000. At £1,200,000. At 1,300,000 now. 1,400,000 with Courtney Kramer's now at 1,400,000. Head of you all here at 1,400,000. At 1,400,000. 1,500,000. I see you in the room in a new place at 1,516. Back with Courtney ahead of you, madam, at 1,600,000. 1,700,000 now in the room with the lady seated at 1,600,000. So 1,700,000. My apologies. At 1,700,000. Head of you, Courtney, at 1,700,000. And head of the three phones here at 1,700,000. 1,800,000. New place with Alex, 1,900,000. In the room at 1,900,000. Ahead of you, Alex, at 1,900,000. £2 million. 2,250,000. Oh, and 50. My apologies. I tried. At £2,050,000. At 2,050,000. Will you say 2-1, Alex? 2,001,000. At 2,100,000. Still ahead of you, Courtney. At 2,001,000. Are we sure? At 2,001,000. Lorenzo. No? At 2,001,000. With Alex Punchik then. Still ahead of you, Courtney. At 2,100,000. We're all done. We're sure? At £2,100,000 then. Fair warning to you all. So, paddle 25. Thank you, Alex. Lot 18, Lucio Fontana. Piatese, showing here in the room. Not shown at auction since 1984. Been in the same private collection for over 20 years. Distinguished by its 14 cuts, obviously, in its electric shade of blue. Undoubtedly inspired by the lot before. And I can open up bidding here at £1,600,000. At £1,600,000. At 1,600,000 now. At 1,600,000. 1,700,000. At 1,700,000. 1,800,000 now. 1,800,000, 1,900,000 with Otley on the phones at 1,900,000. At 1,900,000. At 1,900,000. At 1,950,000. With Lorenzo now at 1,950,000. Ahead of you, Claudia. 2 million pounds now in the room. Thank you very much. 2 million ahead of you, Lorenzo. Ahead of you, Claudia, and ahead. It's at 2 million pounds, Claudia. At 2 million. It's your bid at 2 million. 2 million one, grazie. At 2 million one. At 2 million one. Back with Lorenzo. 2,150,000. I took it from you once. Sì, certo. 2,150,000, no? We say 2-2. Bids at 2,200,000 and 50. 2,250,000 pounds. With the lady seated at 2,250,000. Still ahead of you, Claudia. At 2,250,000. Are we sure? Thank you very much. With you then at 2,250,000. If we're all done here, we're done, Claudia, at 2,250,000. So thank you very much. Paddle 825. And I can open bidding here at £200,000, at 200,000, 220,000, at 220,000, 250,000, at 250,000. At 280,000, with Claudia Dweck now at 280,000 and selling at 280. Ahead of you all at 280. At 280,000 pounds. At 280. At 280,000. If we're all done here, done online, done in the room, with you then, Claudia, at 280,000. So, paddle 67, I think. 46. Thank you very much. And lot 20, the Paula Rego, Snow White playing with her father's trophies. Sold as viewed, thank you. And I can open the bidding here at £600,000. Now, £600,000, 650,000, 650,000, 700,000. At 750,000 with Alex now at 750. At £750,000. Head of you all with Alex Bunchik here at 750. At 750,000. At 750. For the Paula Rego with Alex Bunchik at 750. At 750,000. Fair warning then. All done at £750,000. So, paddle 80. Thank you, Alex. And opening here at £200,000 now. £200,000 at £200,000. 220,000 now. At 220,000. At 220,000. 250,000 now. At 250,000. 280,000. Here with Alex Branchik at 280,000. At £280,000. Alex's bid at 280. Head of the room here at 280,000. Head of you all here on the phones at 280. We're coming in, madam. At 280. At 280. With Alex then, fair warning here in the room and on the phones at 280,000. So, paddle 54. Thank you, Alex. And we move to lot 23, the Lucy Bull, 959, showing here in the sale room on my left. And opening here at £180,000, at £180,000, 190,000, at 190,000, 190,000, 190,000, 200,000, 220,000 with Barmy, at 220,000, 250,000. Head of you, Barmy, at 250,000. Ahead of you, Antonia. Ahead of you, Barme, at 250,000. 280 now with Barme at 280. At 280,000. Barme's bid now against you, Antonia. 300 with James Francis Fox, just ahead of you, Alex, I'm afraid, with Foxy here at 300. Ahead of you, Barme as well. 320 now at 320,000. Back with Barme. 350, welcome Cian now at 350,000. Ahead of you both, and ahead of you, Alex, as well, at 350. 400, thank you, Barme, at 400. At 400,000 now. Ahead of you, Cian. Ahead of you, Foxy, as well. Barme's bid at 400. Head of the room as well at 400,000. 420 now, thank you. With Alex Griffith at 420. At 420,000. 450,000, thank you, Foxy, at 450,000 now. Head of you both on this side at 450. 480,000, back with Barme now at 480,000. At 480. 500,000 now. Back with Cian here on my left at 500,000. 550,000 with Alex now at 550. Still ahead of you, Barme, and ahead of you, Cian as well at 550. 600. Lo siento. 600 with James Francis Fox here at 600. Against you both on this side as well at £600,000. 620,000 with Barme. 650 with Cian. Thank you, Cian. At 650. Ahead of you, Alex, at 650. 680,000. At 680. Just ahead of you, Alex. At 680. 700,000. Back with Cian here at £700,000. 720,000. Got to be quicker, Alex, I'm afraid. It's 720. Head of you, Cian. Here with Barme at 720,000. No. 725. Next bid, 750 is the next bid. Is that a bid? 750. Thank you very much. 750. We got there in the end. Alex is in. 750. 780 with Cian now. 800. That's more like it. Thank you, Cian. At £800,000. Head of you, Alex. 820 now. At 820,000. New place with David Galpin at 850,000. Welcome along. At 850,000. Ahead of you now, Barme. Ahead of you, Cian. At £850,000. At 850. At 880,000 now. It's back with Barme. 900,000. Thank you, David. At 900,000 with David Galpin. Head of you, Cian. 950. With Barme at 950. At 950. You sure? With Barme, head of you, Cian, ahead of you, Alex. At 950,000. At 950. With Barme. At 950, Cian. With the calculator. At 950. It's still Barme's bid. It's ahead of you, Alex, as well. At 950.
1 million, please.
£1 million. A new place. David Schrader, thank you. At £1 million. Ahead of you, Barme, as well now. At £1 million. Barme, dime. No? At £1 million. David Schrader's bid. At 1 million. Ahead of you, CELINE. At £1 million. Mr. Fox still on the phone. At £1 million. CELINE, what are we saying? We're out at £1 million. It's David Schrader's bid. Ahead of you, Barme. Fair warning to you now. At £1 million. Hammers up, Barme. At £1 million. Sold. Thank you. 73. Thank you, David. We move to lot 24. The Thomas Schutter, the Grosse Geist, number 6. Sold as viewed. A stunning and early example of Schutter's iconic Geister series, the artist's most celebrated body of work. Other figures from the series are part of permanent collections in prestigious institutions, including Centre Pompidou, SF MoMA, and of course the Rubel Museum in Miami. And opening here at £1,500,000. At £1,500,000 now. At £1,500,000. At £1,500,000. £1,600,000. At $1,600,000 now. At $1,600,000. $1,700,000. At $1,700,000 now. At $1,700,000. At $1,800,000. Alex Branchik on the phone at 1.8. $1,900,000. Avec Gregoire at 1.9 now, Alex. £2 million. 2.1. At 2.1. With Gregoire, 2,100,000. 2.2 now. We're done? We are at 2,200,000. Not with Gregoire, it's with you, Alex. Fair warning to the room then. At 2,200,000. If we're all done here, Alex's bid at 2. So, paddle 71. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Gregoire. As we move to lot 25, the Neo Rauch. Again, sold as viewed. Thank you very much. And I can open here at 200,000 now, at £200,000, 250,000, at 250,000, 280,000, at £280,000, at £280,000, 300,000. Thank you, Fergus, and welcome at 300,000. And I can sell to you at 300,000. At £300,000. Fergus's bidder at 300,000. At £300,000. No, sir? With Ferguson at 300, if we're all done here, at £300,000. So, pedal 21, thank you, Fergus. And we move to lot 27, which is the last lot of our sale. The Richard Serra, the elevational weights, the vertical work, painting, sold as viewed, I think, in the back of the room. And I can open bidding here at £220,000, at 220,000, 250,000, 250,000, 280,000, at 300,000. David Schrader, welcome, at 300,000. Bids here with David at 300,000. At £300,000. At 300,000. Any advance? Last chance, literally, at £300,000. With you then. 310, welcome, sir, of course, at 310,000. In the room at 310. Against you now, David, at 310. Arm is out. Here in the room, no, at £310,000. With you, sir, last lot, Richard Serra for 310,000. So, thank you very much, Polo 829. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, brings tonight's auction to a close. Thank you very much to everyone for joining and to all our bidders for their participation. Do join us tomorrow for David Hockney's sale and our contemporary day sale at 11:30. We very much hope to see you in Paris next week for our Surrealist and Modernity sales, and of course in New York next month for the grand opening of our new home at the Breuer and a roster of exceptional sales of modern and contemporary art. And with that, I bid you good night.